When we work with data, we often want to understand relationships. For example, does increasing advertising lead to higher sales? Or does lowering price increase demand? A regression model can show these relationships. But an important question remains: can we trust these results, or could they have occurred by chance? This is where hypothesis testing comes in. In this video, we will understand what a statistical hypothesis means, what it means when a coefficient equals 0, how the t-test works, and what the p-value tells us. Let us start with the simple business model that we constructed. If you are new to this series of financial econometrics, you can watch the video What Drives Retail Sales to understand how we construct an econometric model and how the parameters are estimated. Suppose a retail company wants to understand what drives sales. In our example, we considered 3 factors: product price, advertising spending, and store size. Each coefficient beta tells us how sensitive sales are to that variable. For example, if the price coefficient is -8, it means increasing price by 1 unit reduces sales by 8 units, assuming other factors stay constant. But here is the real question: is this value significant enough to have an impact on the sales? That is exactly what hypothesis testing answers. A hypothesis is simply a statement we want to test using data. In business, managers often have beliefs such as lower prices increase sales, advertising increases demand, bigger stores attract more customers. These are just ideas or hypotheses, and statistics is what gives us the power to see if the data agrees with them. Now this is where things get really clever in statistics. Instead of trying to prove our idea is right, we do the opposite. We start by assuming our idea is wrong. This starting assumption is called the null hypothesis, or H0 such that beta is equal to 0. Think of it as the default skeptical position. It says, no, there is no relationship here between the dependent variable and the independent variable. Or in other words, the explanatory variable or independent variable has no effect on the dependent variable. The effect is 0. That coefficient beta is 0. And our own idea that there is a relationship is called the alternative hypothesis, or H1 such that beta is not equal to 0. So the whole game is to see if we have enough evidence in our data to knock down that skeptical null hypothesis. But here comes the real challenge. When we run a regression, we almost never get beta exactly equal to 0. We might get something like beta 1 equal to 0.8, or beta 1 equal to -0.3, or beta 1 equal to 1.2, and so on. So now the question is, if the estimated beta is not 0, does that automatically mean the variable is important? Not necessarily, because even if the true effect is actually 0, random fluctuations in the data can still produce a non-zero estimate. So what are we really trying to check? We are asking, is this estimated coefficient far enough from 0 that we can believe it is real? Or is it so small or so uncertain that it could just be noise? So the big question is, how do we gather that evidence to challenge the null hypothesis? We need some kind of test, right? Something that tells us if the effect we measured is big enough to be real, or if it could have just been by chance. And that is exactly why we perform a t-test. The t-test helps us measure how many standard errors away our estimated beta is from 0. If it is far from 0, we say the coefficient is significant. If it is close to 0, we say it is not significant. We do not test whether beta is exactly 0. We test whether it is close enough to 0 that we cannot distinguish it from 0, and that leads naturally to the t statistic, which is equal to the estimated beta divided by the standard error. The t-test compares two things, the signal and the noise. The signal is the estimated coefficient. The noise is the uncertainty in that estimate, which we measure using the standard error. The t-statistic is calculated as coefficient divided by its standard error. So the t-value tells us how large the effect is relative to the uncertainty. If the effect is much larger than the noise, we conclude that the relationship is likely real. If the effect is small relative to noise, it may simply be random. Let us see an example. Suppose regression gives advertising coefficient equals 2.5 and standard error equals 0.8. All we do is divide the signal by the noise. So 2.5 divided by 0.8 gives us a t-value of 3.125. So we have a number. But what does that mean? Is 3.125 a big number or a small number? Now we compare this with a benchmark called the critical t-value. To understand the logic, think of a medical test. Your blood sugar is equal to the measured value and the healthy limit is the reference value. The doctor compares the two. The same idea applies here. At a common significance level of 5%, the benchmark is roughly around 2 for large samples. Since 3.125 is greater than 2, the effect is strong relative to the noise. So we conclude that advertising significantly affects sales. Now, in hypothesis testing, we must decide how much risk we are willing to take when making conclusions. This is called the significance level. The most common choice is 5%, which means we accept a small chance of being wrong when we say a relationship exists. This mistake is called a type 1 error. Think of it like this. No statistical decision is 100% perfect, right? We allow a very small chance of being wrong, usually 5%, so that we can still make practical decisions using data. Instead of comparing t-values with tables, modern software usually reports something called the p-value. The p-value tells us the probability that the observed effect occurred purely by chance. A small p-value means strong evidence against the null hypothesis. The rule most analysts use is simple. If p-value is less than 0.05, the coefficient is statistically significant. If p-value is greater than 0.05, the evidence is weak. Let us interpret a regression table. Price has a coefficient of negative 2.5 with a p-value of 0.001. This means price has a strong negative impact on sales. Advertising has a p-value of 0.02, which is also below 0.05. So, advertising significantly increases sales. But store size has a p-value of 0.30. This means the data does not provide strong evidence that store size affects sales. So, analysts treat that coefficient as statistically insignificant. Here is an important point that is often misunderstood. When a coefficient is not statistically significant, it does not prove that the effect is zero. It means that the data does not provide enough evidence to confirm the effect. Maybe the sample size is small, maybe the variability is large. So hypothesis testing tells us about confidence in the evidence, not absolute truth. An insignificant result does not automatically mean something is wrong with the model. It simply means that the evidence is not strong enough to confirm the effect. Whenever you read a regression output, follow this simple checklist. First, check significance. Is the p-value below 0.05? Second, check direction. Is the effect positive or negative? For example, if theory says price has a negative effect on the demand, The regression must give a negative value for the coefficient. Third, check the magnitude. How large is the impact? For example, a price coefficient of -2.5 means a 1 unit increase in price leads to a 2.5 unit decrease in sales, holding other factors constant. Similarly, an advertising coefficient of +1.8 means a 1 unit increase in advertising leads to a 1.8 unit increase in sales, holding other factors constant. These interpretations help managers make informed decisions. Hypothesis testing is what transforms regression from a mathematical tool into a decision-making tool. It allows us to separate real signals from random noise. Instead of guessing which factors matter, we can scientifically test them. So whenever you see a regression result, always ask 3 questions. Is the coefficient different from 0? Is the t-value large enough? Is the p-value small enough? If the answer is yes, you can trust that the relationship is likely real, and that is how analysts turn data into reliable insights.